He earned worldwide fame as one of the heroes of the Super Friends, commanding all creatures of the oceans to obey him. Fame led to book deals, movie appearances, and hit records. Now he faces his greatest challenge as host of his very own children's show, the Aquaman and Friends Action Hour.
It's time for sunshine and happy smiles, chocolate rainbows and friendly fish. Come along and join your friends at the Aquaman Action Hour.
9 billion names of pod.
From Atlanta,
home of Georgia's next governor, Stacey Abrams.
it's the 9 billion names of pod with Dan Bauman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm not watching Disney's Song of the South.
So let's talk about some stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, let's talk about a lot of stuff has happened since we last spoke. Comic-Con and a whole bunch of trailers and a whole bunch of stuff. But let's talk about the unpleasantness that has gone on.
Oh, what did Trump do this time?
No, the other unpleasantness. That's just a constant state of unpleasant. No, events in in our sphere of things anyway. James Gunn.
Jamie's got a...
James Gunn was booted off of Guardians 3 and fired by Disney. Now,
that's weird in that you don't have Guardians without him.
Right.
I mean, it's almost like Disney went, hey, we let you play on our little thing, which technically, legally it is, but now we found out some stuff that you did. And here's the thing. I don't know any of these tweets. I've heard them described as, bad jokes about incest and pedophilia and rape and stuff like that. And let's face it, rape jokes aren't funny, and some people need time to learn that.
Right.
But when something like this comes out, I look to the totality of the person,
Right.
And like in the case of, of Harvey Weinstein, it was revealed he did X, Y, and Z. Okay. How many years ago was it? Try months. Okay. Fuck that guy.
And how many times has it happened?
Exactly.
How many, people have come forward?
Exactly.
The James Gunn thing, it's just panic reactionary by Disney.
They're trying to head off, it's like what Papa John's did,
Yeah, which was also I'm no fan of his, but that was also a bit much, I thought.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm not. From what I gathered about the thing, it seemed a little strange. It seemed like he was describing a thing someone else said while he was in a meeting, and it by the nature of him saying the word, he got booted. Now I may be way off on that.
No, what I heard was that he was in the middle of a role-playing exercise with higher ups on how to handle situations to avoid PR nightmares.
Okay.
And in the process of doing that, I'm guessing he thought he was going to be provocative, like this is the thing that could happen, and said the N-word.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why would you go? I mean, I could be provocative as hell. The N-word ain't leaving my mouth.
Right.
We've already discussed this. I will use the word if I'm completely by myself singing along with rap lyrics that say it. And I mean alone. Because the power of the word is other people hearing it and having it affect them.
Yes.
If I'm just being dumb and singing like a stupid white boy to some rap song that has that word in it, karaoke does not count.
No.
Because you're with other people, and why would you do that anyway?
Right.
So, but that word never, ever, no one can ever say, Michael, remember that time? No, because there's never a time.
No.
And he thought it was okay to say that, like, I'm protected now because I'm...
Okay. Fair enough.
But also, he was critical of the football teams doing the kneeling.
That's what I'm saying. He was not. I was no fan of his.
Right. This is not. I said the N-word and now my life is destroyed. No.
Yeah.
There's other stuff. Oh, Obamacare is going to make me raise the. I don't want to give my employees health care.
That's what I mean.
I don't want the football players.
He was
kneeling.
not the best.
I'm going to say the
person.
N-word. What's the common denominator in all that? People of color, perhaps.
Yeah.
So, and your shitty pizza is already like fifth best,
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
Going back, I think this is a different situation with James Gunn.
He was trying to be funny.
But
and let me
here's
tell
the
you,
thing, here's the thing.
Sarah Silverman tells the worst Jewish jokes ever, but she gets a pass because she's Jewish.
Right.
And she's an equal opportunity, comedian.
This was over a decade ago when James Gunn was trying to build a career. He made weird ass horror movies. People don't remember that. He made a movie called Slither about worms killing people, and I'm fairly certain he made the movie. There's a movie about a monster chicken that kills people or something. He made awful horror movies, and he was trying to be, his brother even said he was he was going for the asshole persona and making terrible jokes, and okay, it didn't work, and that was a long time ago. It's not like it's a persistent thing.
Right, and he did some tweets. They were apparently, in bad taste. Like I said, haven't read them. I've heard them describe the subject. So,
Right.
But yeah, if you're making rape jokes,
They're still jokes, though.
they are, well, that goes to your intent, not to how it was received by other people, right?
Okay.
I mean, you could tell the most horrible, I don't know, dead baby joke, and on its surface it's funny, and your intent is to be funny and a little provocative, but the person that actually had a child die, that's going to hit them totally not how you're expecting.
Understood, but you can't. Then
no.
There can be no jokes.
There's no policing of that. You just got to understand how that affects certain people.
For sure. And, it sounds like he was doing that completely on purpose because he knew it was going to be controversial. And he
provocative.
Was going to, and raise a thing. And there are many comedians who are like that, who would tell terrible jokes. So this isn't, almost all of the cast members from the movies.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
Not one person who has worked with him any time in the recent past, including the cast of Guardians, has said, yeah, James.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
fuck that guy.
It's about time. No, every one of them said, I'm not okay with this.
Yeah.
This is not right.
This is not right.
Rehire. There's a petition. And you know how this came to light?
How?
Mike motherfucking Cernovich.
Okay.
He is a right-wing troll.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he has a radio show somewhere. And he's taken it upon himself to try to find bad things that people on the left have said and hold them accountable, because you're holding us accountable, for things you said today.
Yeah.
This is the guy that said date rape is impossible to happen. Yeah, exactly. Mike Cernovich. So this is another example of a right-wing, I don't want to say Nazi because that devalues it. I don't think he's actually a quote-unquote
troll.
A right-wing extremist, conservative, who is trying to take shots at anybody they can, combing through past Twitter feeds, trying to find, there's something that someone said that was insensitive. Let's talk about that and cause them problems.
Right.
And Disney saw the whole, remember how Starbucks, after the incident with the two gentlemen that the cops were called on them, they jumped very quickly to head off on this. ABC said, no, we're not going to, Roseanne, you're fired, done.
Yep.
They saved themselves a PR nightmare.
Same corporation.
Exactly.
Disney, ABC, yeah.
And I think that they wanted to do the same thing with somebody who is more left, I guess, oriented. I don't know what James Gunn's politics are,
he is,
but I'm guessing he's
hardcore left.
Okay, all right.
Hardcore.
But he wanted to show, listen, we did it to Roseanne, we did it to
That's
James
the thing.
Gunn.
I do follow James Gunn on Twitter, and he is a hardcore critic of the current administration. Hardcore. So
good.
That's why Jackass took shots at him.
But I'm sorry, what Roseanne did, at the moment, within hours of her being fired.
And she keeps digging that hole. God. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Screaming, I thought the bitch was white. Okay, that really...
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's... we've all fucked up, and if we've been held to account...
I'm on Ambien. I thought the bitch was white. I mean, none of this is
Just you know what?
Yeah.
Do the smart thing. Do what Louis C.K.'s doing. You back out of public life, and maybe, just maybe, sometime in the future, perhaps the public might be willing to have you back or entertain you in the public sphere without protesting you.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what Louis C.K. is doing to rehabilitate himself or to, hold himself accountable. But I hope he's doing it because he's a funny guy. I hate what he did.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart because he was, he was a legend. And, he was one of the best comics working. And granted, he didn't touch somebody, but let's not.
He didn't. I mean,
let's not do shades.
Essentially,
let's not do
did.
shades. You whip it out in front of somebody and make weird propositions. And just. Oh, guys, we all have these urges, but some of us can control them.
Right.
If all guys just acted on their basest, oh my gosh, it'd be horrible out there.
We are all gorillas. That's all we are, and we just have to have that.
Yeah, that's our base impulse. It wasn't bred into me. It was bred into me over the, millennia, I suppose, but it wasn't something that I was taught as a kid. It's just something.
Well, there's an instinct. I mean,
just,
Yeah.
But I'd like
it doesn't
to say
excuse
that 99% of people out there, guys out there, they keep that shit in check.
Yeah.
For the most part, Anyway.
Well, so I think James Gunn really got a raw deal.
I think he's going to be rehired. I do.
I hope so. I hope so because
they knee-jerked it, and now people have let Disney.
Yeah, there's a whole Change.org petition, and like a lot, like Bobcat Goldthwait came out.
Take my voice off of your attraction.
Yeah, because I've done I've said some terrible shit in my things that I love Bobcat. I think I like him better now than the crazy voice back in the day. He's funnier now than he ever was.
Yeah.
And he just did a show like here recently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, there's a on one of the smaller networks like True TV or something. There was a show. Monsters and something or other that he did recently here because a couple friends of mine
he's like a filmmaker now. That's pretty much what his main thing is.
Well, he spent like 10 years, well, not 10 years, but he spent a few years directing the Jimmy Kimmel Show. That was what he was doing for a while. He directed like 150 episodes of Jimmy Kimmel, so he went and just became a director for a long time.
Okay,
right. So yeah, he stepped up to defend James Gunn, and I hope you're right.
Well, because Gunn was in the process of writing 3.
It's written, it's done. I think.
The
script.
No. What I heard is he was in the process of writing it.
Okay.
I mean, that's what who knows what the truth is?
Right.
I hear things. It's on the internet, so it must be true. But I mean, that's the visionary.
Yeah.
It's like trying to do the Muppet Show without Jim Henson. You could do it. The original Muppet Show.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same.
If it came out that he was doing this shit now and it was all on purpose, then it was like, all right, fuck Guardians. It's done. It's over. But that's not the case on this one.
Right. And the severity of the crime, the distance and the frequency is the parts of the equation that equals, are you redeemable?
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein. 30 years, horrible things, did it up until yesterday.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
There is no amount of time. There is an amount of time that can go by before you're welcome back. Unfortunately, you'll be dead before that time arrives.
And even that, I don't think he gets. I don't think he ever gets out from under that.
No.
That's
because he's the shorthand for the whole Me Too movement.
Right. He is the the cliched Hollywood exec taking advantage.
The casting
of
couch.
Exactly.
Ruining your career. You want to work in this town?
Exactly. He was every bit of that stereotype.
Exactly.
But Gunn again, he was just a comic trying to put a career together, and he tried to be provocative, and that's way different.
Yeah,
way different.
Michelle Williams told a really funny / bad abortion joke at the White House, the press correspondence dinner.
Yeah,
it got groans and everything. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Is the subject of abortion funny? It is not.
It is not.
But it's the dark humor, and you got to go. You've got to delineate between dark humor and just being a shitbag.
Yeah, like telling awful bad taste jokes. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There is nothing. If that was the case, we would have no comedy whatsoever,
Right,
At
yeah.
all. And,
Well, we would, but it would all be Jerry Seinfeld.
yeah, which is also good.
That's-
but you wouldn't have Bill Hicks. You wouldn't have
Carlin.
Carlin.
To some degree, he wasn't quite.
You wouldn't have Lenny Bruce. I mean, the where it all started.
Right,
so.
exactly. So I'm hopeful that we're going to get Mr. Gunn back. There's a petition. There's like hundreds of thousands of signatures. I think Disney's going to reevaluate. However, one thing that's in play is that this is the week, and we can talk about this a little bit, that Disney locked down 20th Century Fox. They got it.
They got it.
They got it.
Okay.
It was
Comcast. It was Comcast that was going after
Comcast was going after it.
because that went back and forth a bunch of times.
Not too many times, once or twice.
But it was recently where
Right, 'cause
where
Disney-
Comcast jumped up again.
Right. Disney put up, I think, a $56 billion bid. They came up with 63, and then Disney went, all right, 71. Go for it.
Yeah.
And finally Comcast went, yeah, we're not going to do it. Plus, the board of 20th Century Fox wanted to go with Disney.
Right.
They were open to other offers, but that seemed like a more natural
And
place
not for
them to
nothing,
be.
but Disney is nothing but blue skies, and Comcast, its days are numbered. Like the way the landscape is with cable TV and all that.
Well, with cable TV, yes, but they still have the pipe that we get the streaming stuff on. So,
still, it's their
but a large chunk of their business model is
so
not going
many
to be
people
around.
hate them
Yeah.
that it's
Well, name one cable company that someone goes, I like my cable company.
yeah,
Nobody.
but they are the worst. They're absolutely the worst in that thing.
What's the one in New York that everyone knows?
Oh, Charter.
Charter.
Or Roadrunner or Charter. No, Charter's here. I think it's there's one Roadrunner. There's a couple in here. I know which one you're talking.
There's one
about
that's used in all the jokes.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
I've been
yeah.
waiting for shows a picture of a skeleton sitting in a chair, but been
Exactly.
waiting for the cable guy all day.
Well, cable is a dying thing. It's
Cable television.
cable
is.
television, and once fiber or whatever the next iteration of internet connection comes up, they're dead. I mean, they're dead. That's why they're not going to last.
That's why they got to diversify. That's why Disney, they have ABC, but they have every other.
Exactly.
I mean, they're huge.
Yeah,
I
they
think-
have a top 3 network. They have every huge money making franchise just alone.
pretty much.
Disney alone itself was a thing. Was conquering the world. Owning ABC, owning Marvel, owning the Muppets, owning Star Wars.
Guess we don't have to worry about Spider-Man having to negotiate for every film. It's like they own Spider-Man now. It's back in house.
Do they?
Yes.
That's still Sony. Or do they get him back? Spider-Man was Sony.
Spider-Man was Sony?
Sony was absolutely Spider-Man. Yeah.
Okay, then maybe I'm incorrect on that.
Fantastic Four comes back, and they can finally do it right.
You know what? I gave the Hulk 3 tries, and they finally got it right. So
4 or 5 in, yeah. But they get it finally right by Avengers
right,
Ragnarok.
by Avengers.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'll give Fantastic Four one more try, but God.
Only if it's under Marvel banner. Only if Marvel.
Yeah,
actually,
if they bring it into the Marvel
if
universe,
they Feige it and make that part of Phase 4. That would be awesome.
that would be very interesting.
That would be pretty great.
I like that idea.
To actually, and because people love the Fantastic Four, like the hardcore Marvel people, they could never do them properly in the movies until now. Just the effects alone, they couldn't do them. Even the first one with Chris Evans as the Human Torch was not terrible. I didn't hate it. The second one was unwatchable.
The one with Chris Evans, that's the one with Jessica Alba.
Yes.
And
And Michael Chiklis, and it was
that was good casting.
Yeah, he was good, and he didn't. What the funny thing was, and this is just a silly aside, was that they didn't alter his voice at all. He just did that.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
That's
do.
his.
That's his favorite character, and
clobbering time.
So. They will get a whole bunch of stuff back. The big thing, everyone's like, so does that mean they're going to let Fox distribute the Star Wars movie so we can just tack on the fanfare?
Yes. I'll tell you, if Episode 9 gets the fanfare because of this, and it's not coming out till December 2019.
Yeah, so we got a lot of time.
There's a lot of time for them to settle it down. Like, please, oh my gosh, I will tear up.
Oh my God, yeah.
If
yeah.
But have you heard the news about another reason why we're going to tear up for Episode 9?
Yes, I think I know what you're talking. Well, there's several reasons. The main one being they're actually going to bring Carrie.
They're going to use unused footage.
Yep.
Apparently, just from Force Awakens, not from
Last Jedi.
Yeah, I don't know, but whatever. They're using some unused footage to put her in the film. I don't know how they're going to arc it or how they're going to scope it, but good. That's fine.
Yeah.
If you can make that work and not make it look like it was, tacked in, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I totally support that. No CGI Carrie.
No recasting.
No recasting. So if, that's okay. We already know Mark Hamill. We know Luke, who is quote unquote dead.
They announced the cast.
He's back. Of course he's back.
Right.
He's going to get his Obi-Wan Force
Ghost moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to, and he might be, pivotal to what happens.
Yeah, you don't know. Let's face it. The first one was a Han movie.
Yep.
The second one was the Luke movie. The third one was supposed to be
the Leia movie.
The Leia movie. It still can be Leia-ish, but there's just, you can't.
No, you can't. It'll wrap up her story one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they're doing what they're doing. Like Billy Lord gave permission.
That was the thing. I read that one. Okay.
Yeah.
And
she's in it.
She was in Jedi.
The other two. Yeah. She was in Force Awakens
Yeah.
and I'm glad that they upped her role in both of in Last Jedi, because she had like one or two lines in Force Awakens, and they're like, no, we're gonna make you a more integral part,
right?
And then upped her, and I'm sure she's gonna be a main player in 9. I'm excited about that.
Maybe.
But they also announced Billy D. Williams is coming back.
Of course.
He's the only one left, and it would kind of be a travesty without him. Supposedly, supposedly in one of the drafts of one of the earlier drafts of Last Jedi, he was supposed to be the code breaker. Like, he was supposed to be the one that that Benicio started playing, or at least like the other guy.
Hopefully not betraying them for. Well,
no.
Although
maybe he was the guy they were looking for in the casino, which would have been amazing. But I'm glad he'll be back in this somehow.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Yeah,
like they don't get to they just show him for a brief second, like. And then move on, and then he comes back. Well, that would have been better, because the person they used, he looked like some James Bond villain doll. It just
that whole sequence didn't work, and we know, and we can just let it be.
That whole thing of going there to get the code breaker was just kind of an excuse to do the thing about the poor animals and the kids that are.
Yeah. Again, I get the message, but that whole sequence is far too long. Speaking of Star Wars, the big bomb that got dropped at Comic-Con. Comic-Con was last weekend, San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
And
is that C-3PO is actually bisexual?
No, everybody knows that anyway.
Okay.
No, was that they evidently in one of the Star Wars panels, they just started showing this trailer, and everyone was like, "What is this?" And it was.
Is it the TV show?
It is a TV show.
A TV show.
Yeah, it was a bunch of helmets. And it turns out they are bringing back Clone Wars. They're doing season 7, and nobody saw that coming. Like, they were talking about another series. There's another series, I want to say Insurgents, or it's not Rebels, but it's something else. And it's supposedly it's Finn and Poe and like the actual characters and the actors, but I haven't heard much about that. But all of a sudden, Dave Filoni drops this bomb of boom, we're bringing back Clone Wars, we're bringing back Anakin and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, and it was like, holy shit, where did that come from? So I guess he wanted to
apparently
wrap up his
from
story.
Korea or Japan, depending on where they animate it.
Yeah.
I've watched some episodes. It's just.
No, I get it.
So much stuff to watch.
I know. I went back and I've been going back through it. I like kind of dipped in and out of it as it was on, and then when they released the final season, because what happened was Cartoon Network canceled it kind of like in the middle of production of one of the last seasons, and they were like, so Netflix picked it up and put it out. Like, they finished it and put it out, and I went back and watched that season, and it was great. It was like the last 3 episodes are some of the best like canon stuff ever. It's all Yoda related, and it's fucking amazing.
Are they actually battling clones? No, they're not.
It's just more canon stuff. But it's still clone, no, they never battle clones. The clones.
Right. What is the Clone Wars? Why do you might as well call it the Dishwasher Wars, because you're not battling them either.
No,
I don't get
it should
that.
be the Droid Wars.
Exactly.
Is what it should be, the clones. But, they did turn
I mean,
bad.
the Rebellion does battle the clones eventually. They're the Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
But
and eventually they're not anymore. They stopped using them as clones.
right. Well, they stopped using clones and started
People, yeah.
You would think that people that, life forms that you grew specifically for that would be far more efficient than kidnapping and breaking down. And, that just doesn't seem. I mean, if you want to go up your cruelty game, knock yourself out, Empire.
Yep.
Otherwise, just, grow your people. And, of course, that's another evil thing unto itself.
Right.
But
the Clone Wars thing is going to be exclusively on the Disney platform.
Of course it
Disney
is.
app, which they have not released details of yet.
Disney is not fucking around anymore.
No.
They are slowly pulling their shit out of Netflix.
Yep.
And they're going to launch.
Even though they're still adding stuff. Last Jedi just dropped a couple of weeks ago.
Right, because they don't have their platform yet. There are
Yeah.
certain things that, to capture that market, they've got to get it on a platform.
Yeah.
Netflix is the most logical one for now.
Yeah.
But once Disney's up and running, my guess is that if you do see any of that stuff on Netflix, it'll be years down the line. And I mean years,
I
if
doubt
ever.
If ever. I doubt.
They want to keep
how
it
tight
in-house.
Disney is.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Well, I think that's going to be the problem of the landscape in the next couple of years. Is it's all going to be, everybody's going to be like singular apps of their own stuff. Because the other thing that was announced was DC's app. I'm actually looking at it.
Well, they've got all those DC TV shows.
Well, here it is. Here's what it is. It's, from what I've read, it's everything DC related ever. Like, including
even the horrible shit.
60s Batman, including the Richard Donner Superman, including all the Tim Burton stuff, including all the animated stuff, including the Super Friends, including plus new shows. There's a Harley Quinn animated show. There's Doom Patrol. There's the Titans live action, which is a whole other thing. If you did you watch the trailer for Titans?
No.
We might have to pause and watch that so you can see it, because there's a line in there that's like, come on, guys, you haven't learned yet. There's another show, but anyway, there's the one advantage I believe the DC app is going to have
Over what?
Well, the one really good selling point,
Okay.
is going to be, from what I understand, not only are they going to have all these TV shows, and I'm sure eventually all the CW shows are going to port over there too. They will have access to back issues of comic books. So on your tablet, you could read old issues of Batman.
I think you can do that already.
But I mean, it's all going to be
included
included
part of,
in the
right,
thing.
Right.
It's again, it's going to be like $7.99 a month, like everything else.
Right.
It's, from what I understand, up until today, as of this recording, you can pre-order it and get like 3 extra months and pay like annually. Pay for like, it's like $75 for the year. Okay. So I might jump in that just to give it a year and see how it is, because they're doing.
Well, that sounds more promising than Paramount, which has Star Trek and. Yeah. Although I do hear that they are once again rebooting the Twilight Zone, and actually in this climate, they might have a shot at being successful. Maybe. Well, I mean, the one in the 80s was successful to some degree. The reboot in I think it was either the late 90s or early aughts with Forrest Whitaker. I
didn't see that.
I watched all the episodes. They were okay, but you're holding it up against, it's the same thing, Force Awakens wasn't as good as, Empire. Of course not, because that's the classic. You're getting the new, and it's going to be different.
But in the landscape that we have now of anthology horror series, a la Black Mirror and like Masters of Horror and stuff,
horror in the truest sense of the word horror for Black Mirror,
right? It'll probably fly. I mean, it'll probably if they do it,
it'll
right.
fly better than the most recent reboot that they did, I think, on UPN. I think UPN was still a thing back
when it was right.
So we'll see. I mean, I watched the first, I think, 2 episodes of the new Star Trek and was like, yeah, thanks for the taste, but I'm not hooked. So
I've heard it's good, but if you're a Trek fan, it's good. And I am not enough of a Trek fan to get the CBS app, which is also a thing. That's the problem. Everything's going to be an app soon.
Yeah, that's the problem. And I think that's going to give a rise to a lot of piracy because, if everything gets so segregated that you have to have like 7, you got to have Hulu and Netflix and Paramount and DC and Disney to watch all the things you want. A lot of people are going to go, I'm going to do maybe 2 of those, and then I'm either going to do without, or I'm going to BitTorrent, or I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, if you're also paying for, cable television and the apps, I mean, you could easily spend $200 a month.
Yeah, it's going to get back to where it was with the cable companies.
Yeah, well, it's going to be all, everyone wanted the a la carte channel thing. Well, that's kind of what's being offered now as streaming, which is going to erode the hell out of cable television. Yep. And if I wasn't such a news junkie, eating my MSNBC all the time, and my fake news CNN, I probably would consider, getting a couple of those apps.
But what'll happen is they'll all just port over to an app anyway. Like CNN will have its own app, and that's just what it's going to be eventually.
Yeah, but they make a decent amount of money, having their channel added to cable rosters. Remember, every once in a while, like, Cartoon Network won't be seen tonight because we haven't reached a deal with Time Warner, so it's black now. And the fight over money. Yep. And if they go, fine, we're just going to have our own app, like, fine, well, then you're not going to get the amount of money that you were getting from us for your channel. Right. If you're eroding our audience by putting your shit out yourself, we'll still carry it, but at like 1/3 of the cost of what you were charging before.
Right.
Oh, you're not going to agree to that? Fine, then you're off. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, as that, the domino effect goes through on all these other channels, pretty soon your cable lineups are going to be just, HGN and documentaries, which are well and good, but you're not going to get.
It's funny. We have, let's say we have a cable company we have a cable service that comes direct to our TV. And I will scroll down. Like, I realize I don't ever put it on. Like, we're lucky enough that it is just in our dwelling where we live. Right. And I don't ever turn it on, ever. Like, I'll use it. I'll record, like, Doctor Who and, like, the CW shows as a backup. Right. But I'll watch them on apps, too, when I can. But I will scroll through the guide on that channel, and there's a million channels that are literally just infomercials. Yeah. That it's just, and it's the same ones over. It's like, so you have 500 channels. Great. I have 100 channels of this bread machine or whatever it is, or these knives or whatever the fuck they're selling.
You've got 500 channels of shit on the TV to choose from.
Exactly.
To choose from. Yeah. And that's the thing. I almost kind of wish to go back to the days when it was 3 channels and you got your music in a store, back in my day. Yeah. Not because it was necessarily better than it is now. It's just that it was easier.
Yeah.
Your choices were funneled so that,
there's far too much good stuff to watch.
I gave up years ago trying to keep up with all the latest cool music. Now, if it comes to me, I will go, oh, that's good, and then it will be a part of my collection. If I hear about something that's big, it probably sucks because it's big. Hate to be that way, but, well, let's face it.
You ain't wrong. Yeah.
Anything in the top 10, for the most part, you're like, probably, I think the last decent thing in the top 10 was, Bowie's Black Star. Yeah, okay. And that's just because, unfortunately, the gentleman died, and of course that rockets your sales.
And again, the music industry got homogenized because too much access, and people pirating and blah 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 blah.
Yes.
And corporate greed making it impossible for anybody to break in.
Yeah, the record companies stuck with the the 1999 list on CDs for about 10 years too long.
Yeah.
If they had come then to where they are now, where new releases are at the most $11.99 and probably about $9.99, they would have nipped that problem in the bud.
Right. And iTunes making it possible to just buy one song instead of an album with 2-3 singles and 8 songs of filler.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Really hurt them.
That old scam, and the way that I was able to tell if there was a song that I really liked by a band, I would go check out the CD, and hopefully this information would be on the back, because sometimes it's in the booklet. You can't open up a new CD to look at it, and find out, let's see, produced by so-and-so, except star. Oh, look, the one song produced by somebody else is the hit that we like.
Yeah.
So they brought in a hit maker to make a hit, and the rest is maybe good, maybe not. You don't know.
Yeah.
So those days, are over because you don't have to look at the credits. You can audition in a minute and a half on iTunes.
Yeah.
And that's what I do now. And my music,
or just buy that one song, and I don't want.
Well, if I like a song by a new artist, I want to check out their other stuff and see. But I can do it for free as opposed to taking a chance, listening, and then going, well, they burned me.
Yeah.
I've discovered some amazing bands that way, but more often than not, it's like, that was, okay. And then it sits in my collection for 20 years and I don't touch it.
Yep.
So the media landscape, oral, visual,
it is
soon to be tactile. I'm sure they'll come up with something.
VR. That's the
I'm
next thing.
sure they'll have something to put on your hands and your feet and probably your junk at this.
Eventually,
it's gonna happen.
Every technological advance is motivated by porn.
Porn,
every single one. Home video,
exactly.
Computers, everything.
I mean, I don't have to pee-wee it in a theater with a bunch of other gross dudes. I can do it at home. Sold. I'll buy that $500 VCR and that
$90 tape.
Yes, exactly. I remember when it was a revolution when suddenly VHS tapes, you could buy them new for like $19.99 because before they priced them for the rental market,
which was $90 to $100.
Oh yeah. I remember. Now don't lose this tape because it's like $125. To replace. I was like, what? No wonder people are renting.
I remember
dubbing.
In the mid-'80s, when my mom was dating a guy who owned a video store.
Oh, nice.
And so we got movies brought home, like whatever didn't rent, she would just take home, which is where I literally took Spinal Tap home so many times that he just gave it to me. It's like, just no one else rents it. Just keep it.
Yeah.
You get it every weekend. But he, as a gift, we got a VCR, and I got a bootleg copy of the Star Wars movies.
Of course you did.
And to see them at home destroyed my mind.
Exactly.
Like, I can watch it. I don't have to watch it the one time a year it was on CBS, and
Yep. Did they put it on CBS?
I believe it was CBS. I believe it was always the CBS.
I guess that was before, back in those days, it was before Fox was a network.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so,
when I was a young kid, like, The Wizard of Oz was on once a year.
Oh, yeah. Sound of Music.
Sound of Music was on every Easter. The Ten Commandments was always on Easter. And Star Wars was on once a year on, I swear it was CBS. So
it's possible. I mean, if Fox didn't have their own network, whoever,
no, not at all.
Whoever bid up the most, they said, sure, we'll put it, Remember, it was NBC and CBS that said, nah, who wants to do football on a Monday night? What the hell? That's stupid. And ABC went, we'll give that a shot. Turns out to be the most
the highest rated show ever.
Exactly.
Always.
Now, of course, I would have been one of those executives going, football? First of all, football on a Monday?
Yeah.
I'm not even interested on any day.
On a Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So forget about it. And then all of a sudden it's, that's... I like those, those listicles, the 10 most missed opportunities. Like, no, we're not going to take on, it turns out to be Buffy, or it turns out to be this. And the guy that turned down this role, like Tom Selleck, was offered the role of Indiana Jones. And then,
Have you watched on Netflix
yes.
the Toys That Made Us?
No. You mentioned that before. I need to.
It's pretty great. There's only 2 seasons of 4 or 5 episodes apiece, and it's a documentary about the making of certain toys. And there's like Hello Kitty and Lego.
There's got to be Star Wars.
That was the first episode.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And it was funny because it was exactly that.
All the toy companies said
they went to
nope.
they went to the guy who owned Mego, and the guy who owned Mego like was a gazillionaire. He got Star Trek, and he made all the big figures, and he got.
I
DC.
remember those.
You met all that stuff, and they were like, they went to him. You know, they in the Mego episode, because they did a whole episode on Star Wars, and they did an episode of Mego, and they're talking to him, and they said, you know, how did you? He goes, how did I feel about passing on Star Wars? He goes, do you have a rope? So, but it was really great because it was exactly that. It was, you know, Fox was just looking for somebody to make toys for this movie. They were desperate. And,
was it Fox looking, or was it Lucas?
Well, it was
because Lucas had the rights.
Yeah, but it was kind of a combination of both. It was not as cut and dried as it always seemed. Like Lucas had all the rights and he did everything. It was more corporate, and you know, it was still. But it was funny because they found this little tiny company in Ohio called Kenner. And they said, we want you to make these. Will you make these toys? And they were like, sure, we'll take it on. And they're like, great, you got 3 months. And they were like, well, it takes 1.5 years to make prototypes and do the things. And they said, yeah. You have 3 months. And what they did was they sent out, like, you could buy, like, pre-order, like, cards for the figures for when they came out. And after the movie came out, everyone had these cards, and it was like, ah! So that's exactly that.
And
like, the passing on all
still
of that.
In my collection, if you sent in proof of purchases, you know, you open the blister pack and then the card, you cut the seal
barcode almost.
Well, it had the barcode. It was like
a seal.
It's like a blue seal with a white border. You send in enough of those, you get an action pack, which had like grappling hook and a whole bunch of stuff. I still have it in its original box with the original label that when it was shipped to me.
See, I never got it. I sent away for one of them. I remember it was during Empire, because I remember it had the masks that they wore in the when they were in the Space Slug, and it never showed up, and I was devastated.
Oh wow!
It never showed up.
Is Kenner still around?
No, well.
They've probably been absorbed into some other
Hasbro bought them, I think.
Yeah, of course they did.
Yeah.
You know, no more Toys R Us, no more KB toys, and everything is, it's like the opposite of the Big Bang.
Yeah.
It's in reverse. By the time we die, there will be 2 companies. For what, Michael? Everything.
Yeah, Disney and Amazon.
That's pretty much it. I mean, at a certain point,
which the whole Amazon thing is always not baffled me, but like surprised me, because we are such a culture of instant gratification. Give it to me right now. Let me download it to my phone right now. That instead of going to a place to get a thing,
but we're also lazy as hell.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah,
like I don't have to leave the house, but I gotta wait 2 days.
Okay,
it's fine. We'll do that. You know, and I'll be the first to admit. I mean, I'll if I know I can get it online cheaper, which 99% of the time you can.
Yeah,
and as long as you meet their minimum, you get free shipping. What's not to like?
Yep.
And as much as I mean, obviously I don't shop exclusively for everything in my life online.
No.
But a lot.
Yeah.
Online, because you go to the store. I just bought a new sink for my kitchen remodel. They want $500 and some odd for the same sink that I got on eBay for $159.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah.
You know,
you can't.
As much as I want to support local businesses, you got to be at least vaguely competitive. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're 3 times as much as the next person, like, no, sorry, I can't go there. But a place that we might go, we'll go. We may not like it. Is the new entries in the DC universe that they've announced.
Yes. Speaking of getting back to Comic-Con. So, yeah, we got 2 trailers.
One is for Kick-Ass Part 3 called Shazam.
It's Big, the superhero movie.
Yes, it's Big meets Shazam.
It's Chuck season 6 is what it is.
God. Yeah.
I will say this about it. I'm more excited about that than Aquaman. Aquaman looks okay. Like, it's like, okay, that's fine. It looks like they may have course corrected a hair. It's still a big action movie.
Just in the trailer, I know the film already. I know the film. It's just, the reluctant hero, the force that comes across to attack the people and the place that you love. He will finally take his rightful place. I've seen that a million times.
Yeah.
Now, not saying that it can't be good, there are only so many stories in the world.
True.
And it can be done well, but I don't have high hopes with DC.
Right. I'm more excited about Shazam because it is different for them. It looks fun and it looks funny. It's they've calmed the fuck down. It's
more Deadpool, less Daredevil.
And it's still like family friendly. It's more like kid, and as much as I'm joking about it being Chuck, Zach Levi is the perfect guy to play Shazam, to play a superhero with a kid personality. It's really good casting. I mean, that's what he did in Chuck, but it works.
Chuck, that was the one where there's something implanted in his brain.
Yeah, he absorbed like the entire internet into his brain.
Yeah,
through some
I think I watched
program.
like the first couple episodes and it was.
We watched the whole thing. It was great.
Yeah.
It was like it was super fun, but they would deep dive Easter egg through the whole thing. My favorite one was they were in Chinatown fighting Chinese gangsters, and the name of the gangster they were fighting was David Lopan.
I knew it.
It was amazing. and Adam Baldwin was his government handler, and they constantly dropped Firefly and Serenity references. So it was super fun. I really enjoyed that series. It was a lot of fun.
I'll put it in my mental note to watch sometime in my 70s when I've caught up.
Right. In the pilot, when he was getting the thing absorbed into his head, he was like, it was, a straight on shot where he's just rattling off things out of his mouth. And one of the things he said was, and it was like just quick clips of stuff. And one of them was Oceanic Flight 815 was destroyed by, and then he clicked to something else, which is a Lost reference.
Right. And Chuck was NBC.
It was NBC. That's what I mean. So it was like they were deep, like they were really good about that.
Okay.
So he was playing that guy. He was a superhero, a reluctant, like not good superhero. So, but DC has at least lightened the tone. We haven't seen what the conflict and what the bad guy is going to be yet. So hopefully it won't take a bad turn.
In this, it may be himself coming to terms with being Shazam.
Yeah.
It's...
well, eventually, I know what they're going to do because they announced it before him. His big villain is a villain named Black Adam, okay, who is also trying to get the power from Shazam, who is the wizard who gives him the power, gives the kid the power.
I saw the trailer. I'm like,
but that's the story.
I know, but I'm just like... Really?
Yeah, that's the power. That's how it's been in the
Come
comics.
over here. What? I choose you. Say my name. Say it. What? Say it.
That's exactly what it is.
All right. Sure.
But Black Adam, they announced who's playing Black Adam.
Atom. Not Adam.
I think it is Adam. I think
is it really?
I think it is. I'm not sure.
Why are you going to call me Black Adam, huh? Why can't you call me? Why can't he be White Adam? Come on.
Who they cast in a Schwarzenegger-esque turn is going to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Okay.
And
that will definitely allow him to
villain.
To be kind of lightweight fun but villainy.
Yeah. Right. So letting him like that, I was like, oh, you're going the Schwarzenegger route. Like when Terminator came out, Schwarzenegger was like, I don't want to be the hero. I want to be the bad. I want to be the robot. And they were like, what? That's a terrible idea, but it turned out.
I think that worked okay.
Yeah, I think it worked just okay.
Even though he's coming back again to do another Terminator, and I'm like, dude, there's not enough CGI to get you looking. What? How are they going to explain it?
It's got Linda Hamilton in it. So
they're bringing back.
Yes, Linda Hamilton is in the new. Yes, that is a thing that is happening.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, so it's like, so
they're going. Are we? All right,
are we skipping over some episodes?
So that definitely means Cameron's not directing,
right.
Which of course we knew that because he's spending the next 40 years of his life to do 97
Avatar
sequels.
Nobody cares about.
First it was a trilogy, now it's a quadrilogy, now it's
never going to stop.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Principal photography will take 9 years. Post will be like 23 years. Perhaps we'll get a new Avatar by the time we die. And you know what? I don't care.
Yeah, I have never watched that movie again. I watched it. We saw it in the theater, and it was great. The 3D was great, and it was a fun movie. But I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't need 5 of those movies.
I don't own it. I never.
I
had
bought
the
it
urge.
at an estate sale for $1.
You know what? For $1, not
because it's a beautiful movie.
Because it's beautiful, and it's got Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, of course, and Zoe Saldana. I mean, she's a giant cat, but I mean, it's still Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's gonna be fun when those finally come out.
Yeah.
I will of course go see Aquaman and Shazam because I will.
Yeah,
but it'll be like, all right, I guess, that is provided I could see it cheaply because.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Apparently on Thursday, MoviePass was not able to pay for its credit card processing, and they had to borrow $5 million.
Yeah.
Now, I checked the app on Friday, and they said it's been all squared away. They've introduced surge pricing.
Yeah.
So if you want to see, Star Wars Episode 9, the opening weekend, you can see it with MoviePass, but you'll pay a little bit extra.
Couple of bucks, yeah.
Right. And okay, that seems
that's fair enough.
That seems fair. I mean, listen, one movie pays for MoviePass.
Yeah.
So as long as I can see a minimum of one movie a month, I'm going to keep my MoviePass. And if I have to, there's very few films. And of course, Star Wars would not be one of them, but there are very few. Would be one of them. There are a few films that I must see opening weekend. The rest, I can wait.
Yeah,
I
can wait till Tuesday to watch it with,
or even wait
best.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I definitely want to see the new. Not the new, the debut Boots Riley film. Sorry to bother you.
I want to see that too. Yeah.
I'm dying to see that.
That looks amazing.
I checked on the Times yesterday just to see, and it does not have a surge pricing thing on it. So
good.
Good.
It's a small movie. Yeah.
Well, good. I want to support it because apparently it's a mixture of sci-fi and commentary. It's like like Back to the Future meets Spike Lee with a touch of Kafka, and I'm like, that sounds wonderful. Now, do you know who Boots Riley is?
I don't. I mean, I know the name.
He is a rapper, and I believe the name of his group is called The Coup, C-O-U-P. And they were the group that had the unfortunate coincidence of releasing an album back in 2001 that shows them underneath the Twin Towers with a detonator that was released, I think, the same week as 9/11 happened. Now, obviously, it was their commentary on capitalism.
Yeah.
Totally fine. Not bad. Not good optics for them. Kind of bad situation. But when you think about it, that's kind of what the terrorists were doing. They didn't fly the plane into a Jiffy Lube. They flew it into a symbol of American capitalism. Yeah. So it wasn't a good look for them at the time.
Right.
They quickly had to, recall and put a new album cover out, as they should have. I mean, I'm totally for freedom of expression, but sometimes you go, you know what? My freedom of expression is going to cause these people, in this case, America and the world, a lot of anguish. I don't need to express myself that way.
If 9/11 hadn't happened, that no one would have cared about.
No one,
that
yeah, exactly.
Pulling that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's like
there are certain
right
things
around
you stand by, and that's not.
Yeah, exactly. You could make your commentary about the downside of capitalism, and believe me, there definitely is. We're living in it.
Yeah.
Without triggering people for one of the most horrific attacks America has ever suffered. Right. Almost as bad as the Trump administration. Hey-o!
There it is.
Yeah, but that's like the buildings falling every day.
Yes.
There's there. Anyway, what'd you think of the Aquaman trailer? As we get back to actual nerd stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, it looks fun. It looks good. I mean, like you said, yes, it's everything we've seen before, but Momoa is charming. I'm down. Amber Heard. It's your basic cliched origin story of a hero. And again, I've been saying this for a while. The biggest mistake they made was casting Momoa as Aquaman. Not that he's a bad Aquaman, but he should have been a character named Lobo. Yeah, just because.
And Lobo's DC as well?
Yeah.
So there's no possibility of him doing that.
Well, there was no ever. That's yet again where DC fucked up, because once the Deadpool era happened, they could have easily done Lobo, because he's the same type of character, just mayhem and filthy and gory and just killing people for no reason.
They can still do a Lobo film.
Yeah,
but the thing is, Lobo is. I mean, I'm fairly up to date on various characters. Obviously I'm not a comic book reader. I had never heard the word Lobo. Yeah, not connected to the sheriff. Yeah.
Look it up, kids. That's an old one.
Until you mentioned it, I'm like, that's a thing? So he would have to make an appearance in, God forbid, Justice League 2 or something. So people go, oh, he made a star cameo. I like that guy. Oh, he's got his own film? Okay. You don't just jump right into it.
I agree, but I disagree, because Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know.
They just took a shot.
That's Marvel. This is DC.
I know. DC, they couldn't and wouldn't. They never have, their shit is such a mess that they can't do stuff like that.
It's like they're the anti-Feige.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the best way we can do this? All right, let's set that aside and do exactly the opposite.
Right. And the other thing, they're doing a standalone Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. And it's kind of an origin story / and it's like, why? What is it? Unfortunately, again, the landscape of the shared universe that Marvel has created, in a way, DC is just fucked no matter what they do. Because if they ape Marvel,
they're Coke and DC is Pepsi. You may enjoy Pepsi, it's never going to beat Coke.
Right. But no matter what they do, if they ape their model completely, it's like, oh, they're just doing what Marvel does. And if they do their own thing, it's like, oh, that doesn't work because it's not like Marvel. And it's like they're fucked. They don't. They can't. They'll never.
The Force Awakens isn't enough like A New Hope. The Force Awakens is too much like A New Hope.
Right.
It's like you can't win. Obviously.
Right.
Just.
So I mean I get what they're doing. But I don't get what they're doing. They're like, okay, we're going to go completely different and now just do movies again like we used to. Like
just scattershot.
Let's
get a blunderbuss and put up a bunch of properties and just shoot and go, all right, we'll do that one and that one.
Like I said, I'm excited about Shazam. Aquaman will be fine. Their Wonder Woman 2 is in production, and it's set in the 80s, which is going to be interesting.
That's going to be nice.
Kristen Wiig is playing the villain.
Ooh, I like that.
It's interesting. She's playing a villain named Cheetah, who in the comics is looks like a cheetah, kind of, and has.
I just like that there's a female villain.
Oh yeah. That was the only way they could have done it.
Now, again,
Patty Jenkins on board, doing it right,
and not connected to what's his name. He's off the project. Wasn't there some? God, there's something that Gal Gadot. Feels wrong.
Oh yeah, it was
one of the money people.
Yeah, no, it was Brett Ratner.
That's it. And so he's apparently divested of the whole thing because she's on board and stuff like that. It still feels wrong to say Gadot.
I know it does.
Gal Gadot sounds just so, it just flows.
Yeah, but
that's not her name.
She's not French.
Yeah, exactly. She's
Israeli.
I know.
Because I heard her say it. I was like, oh, we've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh, is that how that's said? Oh,
yeah.
How many years have I been saying it the wrong way? God, no one corrected me. Maybe everyone's under the impression that it's
right.
Gadot. So.
And one other thing that DC announced that, again, along the lines of Wonder Woman, I'm excited about the next in the big crossover, because on the DC shows they do a big giant crossover on TV 4-night thing, which this year was amazing. It was so good. It had a couple of little issues to where they kind of shot it unto itself, and it's like that doesn't work with what's going on in the actual show right now with Green Arrow, but It was their Infinity War kind of thing. They all their TV shows on top of each other, and it was great. It was called Crisis on Earth X, and they all went to yet a different Earth, which they do. And there was like a Nazi Supergirl, and like all the good guys were bad guys. It was fucking great.
And, Melissa,
She was playing
the Nazi.
She was playing Nazi Supergirl, and it was fucking great. But what they're doing in the crossover this year is they're going to introduce a Batwoman character who is a comic, who is a lesbian, I want to say Jewish superhero.
Oh, nice.
And they are looking for a lesbian Jewish actor. What? Greg Berlanti, the guy who runs all that stuff, I believe he's gay. So he has a very, very high, there are a lot of gay characters in the universe his show. White Canary is bisexual. They let Captain Cold, played by the guy from Prison Break, not Dominic Cooper, the other guy.
I know who it is.
Yeah. Wentworth Miller.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Who is gay in real life.
Okay.
And on Earth X, they let him, his character came back because they kind of killed him off on Legends. He's gay. And he's married to another hero called the Ray. And I was like, good. They let the gay actor be a gay character.
Yeah.
So he's really inclusive with that, being a gay man. I think he's like, yeah, we're going to have all these. And it's not a big deal. Like in, they do the show Black Lightning. And there's the character of Black Lightning, when he's as himself, he was talking to some one of his neighbors, and he's like, oh, where's your daughter? He's like, oh, she's over at her girlfriend's house. Boom, gay character, no big deal. Not a plot point, not a character point, just she happens to be
a throwaway
as it is,
as it normalizes it to people who might be
it has nothing to do with the show,
right?
It's just a thing.
See, that's the kind of thing that makes a lot of sense, and it perhaps does more for the people that might be against it than having a prominent gay character. Have this show inhabit a world where girlfriends, boyfriends, it's tossed off as it's no big deal. They're not being preached to. It's showing them here's where we're at now.
Yeah,
in
just
American
people
society.
like everybody else.
Exactly. It's like, what? They're not going to try to do something? No. Just because you're gay doesn't mean you're fabulous. There are plenty of schlubby, horrible, guys that,
and it
the
doesn't matter what people
doesn't
do out of your sight, So yes, going back, they're going to, the next series next year, I believe, is going to be Batwoman, and it's going to be a gay character. And again, hopefully that's not the focus of the show.
You know what? Just once, I would like to see a strong female superhero have a token male counterpart. Where's Wonder Man?
Oh yeah,
because
there is a Wonder Man, believe it or not.
Is there?
But
Okay.
not in the way you're describing.
Okay.
Wonder Man I think he's a Marvel character.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Just you take the most. You have Superman, Supergirl, Batman, Batgirl. Why not have? That starts out as a female. Now,
Yeah.
let's do a
Wonder Boy.
Let's do a one. Yeah, let's do a male version of that.
Yeah.
It just I don't know. It just I know that's a legacy of just the
Just the way,
the misogyny, and they're all white, they're all male,
Yep.
and they're all super.
Yeah.
So.
The current Ms. Marvel in the comics is a Muslim girl.
Yes,
which is really great.
And there's also, I think, someone. One of them is transgender.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it is.
Yes, I know. Yes, there is one. So they are slowly catching up to society with that stuff.
Oh no, that's indoctrinating the children. You mean showing a fair and accurate representation of kind of the society in which they live?
It's just a normal
oh no,
thing.
we want to. No, that's bad.
Right.
Oh,
and I've read the first issue of Ms. Marvel, and it was great. It was just your basic superhero origin. She just happens to be a Muslim girl, and it's it's going back to like Peter Parker. There's the struggles of just being a teenager and being a Muslim teenager on top of it, and then getting superpowers. And they're gonna bring her into. They're doing an animated series I want to say it's called Marvel Rising or something, and it's going to be Ms. Marvel. It's going to be Squirrel Girl, which is
what the hell is that?
Squirrel Girl is she's like Marvel's kind of Harley Quinn comic. She's a girl who controls squirrels and has a tail.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's great. And
scraping the bottom of the barrel for superpowers there, are you?
Hey, it's one of those things that's like, that's fucking great. You know, it's just a fun superhero. And I want to say she's called Ghost, but it's really Spider-Gwen. It's Gwen Stacy's.
Well, we've already had Ghost. That was in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forget what they call her. It's Gwen Stacy, who was Spider-Man's first girlfriend, who got killed by the Green Goblin. Somehow comes back, and she has Spider-Man powers. So it's a female Spider-Man, is what it is.
Yeah, okay.
So, and they're doing an animated Spider-Man movie called Into the Spider-Verse, where it's Miles Morales, the kid, the Spanish kid, who gets the spider powers, and it's gonna have like Peter Parker, and it's gonna have Spider-Gwen, and it's gonna have like all the kids, and it's like this cool like 3D CG animation. So that's coming out soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so things are happening.
So
Spider Girl, huh? That's
kind of Spider-Gwen they call her, but they were calling her something else in the trailer. I can't remember. I thought it was Ghost, but I was like, how can I do that? But like you said,
can she spin a web of any size?
Catches thieves just like flies.
Okay, I'll watch out for it. Mm-hmm. But this occurred to me: if there's going to be a female Spider-Man, whatever she's called, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Helen, Helens agree. I think that the ideal villain to fight Spider-Girl, the ideal villain would be...
Medication time. Medication time.
We ran out of time. I will tell you next week.
The 9 Billion Names of Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bauman, with Abdul Beni Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Loner. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, Deep Thought, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and LexCorp. Legal counsel by the offices Howard and Fine. Fuck Batman. Marry Superman. Kill Aquaman. Our intro music was written by Tim Akers. This podcast was sponsored by Deep Chag Records and is a production of Audio Primate. Throw us a couple stars on iTunes, why don't you? Listen and watch on YouTube, listen on SoundCloud, stream us on Stitcher, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or email us, comlink@billionpod.com. Until this happens again, I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm Michael Reed.
LOZ!
Audio Primate.